Ronnie, you took time off after last year's World Championships and you came back, I think, bigger and better and stronger than ever. You won the Masters and, of course, the Welsh Open. Were you surprised just how quickly you got back into your rhythm?
Yes. Since I'd had an injury on my back in October, I hadn't really played a good match until the Welsh Open. So to win the Masters, I think things kind of fell into place for me to make me win the Masters, because certain players that I played probably give me a bit too much respect and probably didn't punish me as hardly as they could have done, whereas maybe if I'd played someone like Higgins or Trump, they may have kind of overcome that a little bit earlier on and sensed danger. But you know, I was over the moon just to get back to playing, to be honest with you, and obviously to get the victory in the Masters was just like a dream come true, really.
Whenever I watch you interviewed after a game that you've won, and sometimes you've won really well, you never pat yourself on the back. And I'm just curious as to if you genuinely feel that way about your game, or maybe you on purpose put yourself down so people don't expect more the next time you play.
I went into the Masters just basically just having no confidence in what I was.
Why don't you have confidence?
No, I have confidence in my game and in myself, but since I've done my back,
injury?
Yeah,
okay.
I wasn't able to get set on the shot properly, so I was over hitting shots, under hitting shots. I was hitting across the ball a lot. The cue didn't feel part of my body, and I'm still kind of having to go to the gym 2 or 3 times a week, have personal trainers to try and get the strength back in my leg, because they say it could take anywhere between 4 months and 2 years before it's back to how it was. So subconsciously I know how, kind of, when I'm playing snooker, how everything has to be so perfect, really, you know, in your body, because you know, if I'm a millimetre out, I might as well be 100 millimetres out when we're talking about top level sport. So for me, the body needs to be where it was pre-October the 13th. You know, I'm going to the gym to try and make sure I keep the strength in there.
And what about your mind with regards to confidence? The knockback you received in last year's World Championship when Stuart Bingham beat you, I think it was 13-9 after being 9-9. How much did that affect this season, the next season for you? Had you won the World Championships, do you think you would have played in more competitions this season?
No, I wish I would have probably played in the Champions Cup, maybe Shanghai and the UK Championships, but for various reasons I didn't. So obviously my comeback was more delayed than it should have been, really. But no, my confidence wasn't dented by losing by Stuart. I think Stuart played a fantastic match, because I didn't feel like my game was in great shape. I maybe peaked a little bit too early last year. So no, I had no regrets about losing to Bingham. I think he was a deserved world champion, played really well. I was just a little bit disappointed in my own performance, really.
Well, the performance you put in the Welsh Open was, I think, fantastic. One of your best performances from beginning to end that I've seen for a long, long time. Do you need that as a reminder to yourself as to just what you can do? We all know, of course, what you can do.
I think everybody needs that reminder, and winning is a great habit, and it gives you confidence. You start to believe much more in yourself, and so yeah, no, I felt it was important, having won the Masters and been really not happy with my performances, to then go into the Welsh and win that, but with unbelievable performances. It showed me that, you know, I can get back to where I was pre-doing my back, which if I wasn't able to, if someone said to me that you played the Masters and that's how you're going to continue to play for the rest of your career, I would never have picked my cue up again, trust me, because I didn't recognise myself when I went to the table. I was like, you know, it scared me.
So how did you win the competition then?
I don't know. I just wheeled every ball in. I was just mentally strong. Steve Peters helped me through it. But I was in a bad way, but I just had to do it. You know, you have to do what you got to do sometimes, and you know, it was only 4 or 5 days, and I just thought, come on. But it was the hardest 4 or 5 days of my whole career, and the Welsh Open felt like the easiest 7 days. I could have played another 7 or 8 days, because my form was just on another level.
Let's talk about the World Championships then, of course.
Yeah.
Looking back at last year's championship, you must obviously be disappointed. Everyone talks about you going for that record equaling 6 win with Steve Davis. That would put you one behind Stephen Hendry. These records, I know are in your mind. Is this what drives you? The fact that you're close to the 6? Do you still think you've got it?
No, it doesn't. That's not what drives me, because what drives me is just the enjoyment of playing. And as long as I enjoy playing, then if the tournaments come, fantastic. If they don't come, then, you know, I then have to evaluate whether I enjoy playing enough and not winning, you know. So I'm not sure whether it's the winning that makes the difference to me.
When you got that record equaling 6 win in the Masters, so your name was alongside Hendry's, how did you feel?
No, I didn't feel no different between that one and the one when I beat Selby in the final at Ali Pali. To be fair, I actually felt better when I beat Selby in the final because I felt like I played one of my best performances. So although I've equalled it at the 6 Masters, I didn't feel good about it because my performances wasn't great. But I'm much better at kind of being less harsh on myself and saying, well, at least I won the tournament not feeling good, you know, and that's what Steve Peters has helped me do. And I appreciate that victory because it was a win, and I had to use a lot of my mental skills to get that victory. I have to look at that as a great leap forward in my career because everyone knows, and I know, that I've had the ability, but sometimes it's been the application and the mental skill that has let me down. And I'm a much more all-round package now than I was before, so I'm happy for that.
You're going to be one of the favourites for the World Championship. Do you mind that, if not the favourite?
I don't care, you know, because, you know, there's so many players out there capable of winning it, and I think everybody within snooker realises that, and anyone that knows snooker as a sport knows that it is on the day. And as you see from last year, Stuart Bingham was probably the least fancied from the semi-final lineup, and goes on to win it. And so it just goes to show that snooker has changed in the last 5 years since Barry Hearn's come in. A lot of players that were outside the top 16, top 32, they didn't believe they could win before. Now they belong there because they're playing the top players regular, and they're hard and match players. So now they go to the Crucible, and it's like they're playing down their local snooker club. So, you know, it's there's so much can go on there. But you know, if I get it right and I play 75–80% of my game, then I'll be a match for anybody.
When I'm talking about you, I can't work out, I can't put my finger on why I think you're getting better with age, you're maturing, which I can't think of any other sportsman where that's happened. Do you think you are getting better? Do you think that you have maybe 2 or 3 more World Championship wins in you?
I'm not going to say no, because anything's possible, but the only reason why I think I've matured was because I worked with Steve Peters, and I've been able to kind of keep my emotions much more in check. Whereas if I was working with Steve Peters when I was 20, maybe I'd have had 10 world titles by now. So I don't think I've become a better player, I've just become the player I was when I was 15, 14, 15, 16, where I was just clear in the mind, I was just driven. Yeah, kind of fearless in a way. You play with that abandonment in a way, which I feel like you need to in any era of a sport. And I just feel like that's come back into my game. So my game is where it was when I was 15, 16.
Are you looking forward to the World Championships, by the way?
I am looking forward to it, yeah. I'm just happy to be back playing. I'm happy to be back on the circuit. I'm happy doing my stuff with Eurosport. I feel like I've got a great balance in life, and you know, you just want to enjoy it as you get a little bit older. I'm going to Sheffield just because Sheffield's like a second home for me. I even go there to practice, so I love the place. And the longer I can stay in the tournament, the better. Because I get to see all my friends and that, and just have a good time. And if you pick a bit of silver at the end, fantastic. If not, I'll be in the studio at Feltham doing a bit of punditry work. So I can't lose, really.
Everyone's a winner.
Everyone's a winner.
Happy days. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Top man.
Thanks,
cheers.
Coming up, Andy Goldstein and Ronnie break down one of his wonderful clearances from this year's Masters. And the man himself gets an insight into the world of coaching at Sheffield Snooker Academy. Show. As we've heard, Ronnie won the Masters earlier this year, and his 70-point comeback in the final frame win in the quarters against Mark Selby was a joy to watch. Ronnie takes us through his clearance.
Now, of course, in the Ronnie O'Sullivan Show, quite often you and I have talked through some of your great breaks from years gone by, and this season we've had quite a few to choose from. You knocked in quite a few ton 40s in the Welsh Open.
Yeah.
But I want to get your view on a great frame of snooker from the last day at the Masters. You're 70 points behind, and I want to get your view on all the shots in the break, which of course you went on to win the frame, and more importantly the match. Do you like these frames as a player? Do you like coming to the table thinking, I have nothing to lose here, because there's no expectation on you at all?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm 70 behind, the Reds are not in a favourable position, and I'm playing Mark Selby. The chances of me winning a safety duel with Selby from 70 behind, highly unlikely. So in my mind, to try and win this in one visit if I get the opportunity, but obviously the balls were not looking favourable, so I had to make it in a way.
Really important for Mark Selby, not just to get a good white, but to get a good safety as well.
Yeah, he's played on the thin side there. He's obviously not wanting to kiss the black or going off or leave me a shot, but now he's kind of left me this long red. It's not one that you really want to go for. If it was if it was pretty even Stevens, you'd probably refuse this. I think this is sweet.
Plumb on that red as well.
This red here, I played terrible. This was one of those shots where I just wasn't able to feel my shots all through the week. I've made it difficult.
Again?
Again. That's why it's such a horrible tournament for me. So now, I could have chose to go around the table, get near the red, but I thought... So I just thought, no, I'll take this one. Just try and get a solid strike on this red.
Yeah.
And then see if I can leave myself in this area. I only want a shot at these colours now. I didn't really fancy this pink, to be honest with you, because it was a delicate touch fill shot, and like I said, didn't feel like my touch was that great.
Do you mind middle buckets? Do you mind them?
No, I think if you strike it well, they usually go in the middle of the hole. But this one here was just needed to get the black on the spot if I could, because of this red here. And I'm thinking black on the spot is easier to get on that red.
So you are thinking there, you're thinking 3 shots in front. You're thinking to pop that black, to get on the red, so you can get on the next black, to pop the last red. So it's 4 shots effectively.
Yeah, so it was important for me to try and get the black on the spot in order to get on this last red.
Would you ever, I was always told, never play off a red from a red, so you'd never pop that and then with the white move this red and flick it out, which I think you'd hold for the black. Would that ever cross your mind?
The only reason why you wouldn't play it here was because I need the clearance, and if I pop this red, get this red out, my white's near the cushion, then I've got a difficult black to get on the red. So the idea is behind it. So here I've got perfect on the black.
And you're never ever thinking about coming round the red, it's always...
No, it's too dangerous. It's too dangerous.
But obviously the fact that you can put the cue in the other hand now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I could have done, but I mean, don't want to be playing this. This is not an easy shot, but you know, it's one of them that I had to go for, and I had to kind of commit to it, because this is virtually frame and match ball, really.
Yeah.
I didn't actually feel that much pressure here because I thought that I wasn't expected to clear up. I wasn't playing great. I didn't expect to win the tournament the way I was playing, so I kind of just going through the motions, really. I was just trying to take one ball at a time.
I want to ask you about this black because it's a fantastic shot to get on that yellow.
Yeah.
You have to force it in. There's no way you can play it smoother with running top right. So
I just want to hit it strong, positive, hit the black, hit the back of the pocket, get the white into the middle of the table, and the best way to do that is to really be firm and get a good contact on the white. And if you see the white here, you see it bounces, but you kind of got to kill the white, so you kind of...
It's a great shot. It's such a difficult shot to play as well.
Sometimes the firmer and stronger you hit the ball, the more control you have over the white ball, you know, so it's about hitting the ball with a bit of authority sometimes, especially under pressure, because under pressure you can get a bit twitchy. I think at this point now, if I don't clear up, I'll be really disappointed. So I think this is why I played the wrong shot on the green. When really I played the chicken shot, where the bottle shot really was just to screw it over it. If I hit it really good, then I'll be on the brown. But I just didn't quite hit it great, so I've then left myself a difficult brown. But that's what happens.
It was an awful shot.
Yeah, it was a very bad shot. But I rescued it pretty well.
But it's loose, isn't it? That's what it is. You've lost control of it.
Yeah, it's loose. You know, instead of being here, I'm here. So now I have to go all around the table, and I'm not thinking about getting on the blue. I'm just thinking get close to the blue. I don't care where I land on the table, as long as I'm within that far of the blue.
So that's what you're playing together.
So if I'm near the blue, I can manipulate the white a lot easier.
So you're thinking about not necessarily an easier shot on the blue then, you're thinking about an easy way to get on the pink from the blue.
Yeah, well, I just want to make the game. If I could pop like Neil Robertson and Judd Trump, then I'd probably leave my white here and have no problem with it. I'm using my advantage, which is my knowledge of the table and the angles, and I go, that's a billiard shot to me. That's just like a pop in there, cannon that there, cannon that there, and that takes me towards the pink. So, something like Selby would have probably played this shot. Steve Davis would have probably played this shot. Would probably put it in the corner. And
this shot here, I mean, it's got so many elements can go wrong.
Yeah, this is probably the best shot I hit all match. I kind of, as soon as I hit it, I was like, oh, that felt good, and it went right into the wide part of the pocket, bang right in the middle. Just something like straight on the black, and I thought I can't miss this black now. I mean,
in it goes.
Yeah, nice feeling. Yeah, great feeling. Yeah.
You always like beating Mark Selby, don't you?
Listen, he's world #1. He's a tough competitor, and any victory against Mark Selby, you know you've earned it. Coaching is something you don't hear much about in the game, but today I've come down to Sheffield Snooker Academy to find out what goes on behind the scenes, and our coaches develop the young talent into the future of our game, and to see if I can get a few tips myself. Hi Barry, thanks for joining us here on Eurosport. We've come along to Sheffield Academy today, just try and find out what makes a coach and a good coach. So when it comes to spotting a player, and I'm going to take you back to when you probably first see Kyron Wilson playing, what was it in Kyron that made you think, yeah, this guy's got it?
Well, you can spot natural ability right from the word go. You know, is he comfortable on the shot? Has he got this desire? You can see that. And with Kyron particularly, he worked harder than anybody else. I first met him at one of the summer schools I was conducting, and straight away he was the one that wanted to be on the table all the time. Barry, am I doing this right? Am I doing that? Why did I miss that shot? He asked more questions. He worked harder. That's what I liked. And the one element with Kyron also is he enjoyed what he was doing. And he asked so many questions. It was the bane of my life at that time. But I enjoyed passing the knowledge on. And he's now reaping the rewards.
So how much would you say from a coaching side, is it a mixture of ability and hard work?
I think it goes without saying, Ronnie, you've got to have the ability. You know, that's point one. But then, even with the ability yourself included, I mean, there's nobody got more natural ability than you, but you still have to work hard. Otherwise, you're going to get nowhere in this game. I mean, that fellow that you are playing against, even if he's your best friend, he's trying to take the bread and butter out of your mouth, and you can't let him. So you've got to work harder than he is.
Yeah. Is that something you work with as well with Kyron? Is the mental side of the game as well as the physical aspect?
Yes, yeah, very much so. I mean, this is why we go away together a lot. We share a room together, and I look after him. We go swimming. I make sure his physical side is okay, he's healthy, he still plays football, still enjoys it. Yeah. I believe that you are a better player because of your physical fitness than you were, say, some time ago when you were a little bit chubby at one time.
Thanks for reminding me. Just getting back to with Kyron, how would that kind of be then, just say you're in a match and it's probably not going so great for him, you know he can play better, he's maybe 3-1 down. Now what would you say to him at that time?
Right, well what we've worked on is a pre-shot routine. I mean, I've learnt a lot from other sports. I mean, Jack Nicklaus, the great golfer, always said he would never play a shot without going through his pre-shot routine, whether that was in practice or in a match. I'm the same with Kyron. We concentrate on that. And looking after the mental side, you know, if you, in practice, point that cue, do what you always do, and invariably the ball goes in, why shouldn't you be mentally strong? That's true. You know, so that's where we work.
So you believe the two work together, you build the confidence, you build the game, the mental side then falls into it as well. It's kind of like a catch-22 situation.
Ronnie, you've hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what I mean.
And how much pleasure do you get from seeing a player come through, making them little improvements? And
Ronnie, I love it, honestly. I've been working with Kyron since he was 13, maybe 14. I have had the privilege of watching the progression from each step up the ladder, and I thoroughly, and I mean thoroughly, enjoy it.
Do you think coaching has changed as well as the game?
Certainly, in the old days with the heavy ball and the heavy cloth, you had to thump the ball a little bit. Now it's more about stroking the ball. If I hear a beginner and those two balls collide, I hear a clunk. You know, if I hear a good player, I don't hear a clunk, I hear a click. And then when you're playing, particularly, I don't know whether it's these things, Ronnie, or what, my hearing aids, but I don't even hear a click. I hear click, and I go, Ronnie's in here somewhere. That's what I'm trying to find with Kyron, that sweetness of contact, and I think that's where the game has changed quite significantly. Yeah.
Have you got any tips for me, pal?
I will say one thing, yeah?
Yeah.
Keep the fitness up.
Keep the fitness up, okay. That's a good tip. I like that. Well, you're a PE teacher, so I wouldn't have expected anything less. Barry, it's been great to talk to you today. I want to wish you the best of luck with Kyron and his career. We'll see you around, yeah?
Lovely. Thanks, Ronnie.
Cheers,
Lovely.
mate. Thank you. Gal, thanks for joining us here at Eurosport. We've come down to your academy here in Sheffield, a place I regularly visit.
Yes.
Got a lot of top players here. I know you've got a few youngsters coming through, very, very young, 9, 10, 11, 12 years of age. Can you talk me through the 3 or 4 good ones that you got?
Yeah, we've got some good youngsters at the minute. The youngest one's Brandon. He's 9 years old. Good technique, you know, they all have, to be fair. Hopefully that's down to me, but for 9 years old, he's got the hunger for the game, which is what you're looking for. Enthusiasm in the game. Technique we can keep building on. You know, when you try to get through to youngsters and they feel they're not getting it, he gets it, and they come back with a bit more to you, and you feed off them as much as them feeding off you. You're looking for real youngsters, and then you just put them on the right path and hope that they keep developing. But to see smiles on their faces when they get what you're trying to put through to them, and a disappointment to a certain extent when they don't do it, but come back again stronger.
If there's a player out there and you're coaching a player, what player would you say to him, go and watch? Who would you say is the most perfect, complete snooker player that kind of ticks probably all boxes?
Pains me to say it, but probably Robertson.
Neil Robertson, okay.
People would want me to say Ding, and you know, technically great Ding, knowledge, but I think Robertson's got that as well. You know, you'd want a bit of you, you'd want a bit of Ding, you'd want Selby, you know, grafting and all that. But Robertson, I don't know, he just seems to have the aggression. He has the long ball, long game. He has break building. He just, I admire him. And he's overseas, which again,
impressive. Impressive. What is the story, wasn't it? You know, coming through. Gal's been great. Having us down here.
Andrew, mate.
Thanks for sharing your knowledge with us, and good luck with all the up-and-coming stars. Don't coach them too well, mate, because make my life a bit more difficult.
Little 9-year-old, come and have a look at him. He's smart.
I'll be dead and gone by then. All right, Gal, thanks for that.
Cheers, mate.
That's it for now. Stick with us for all your snooker coverage live here on Eurosport.
Brother, do you know what I'm talking about? Don't let nobody take care of your business better than you do. Too bad he won't give him what he wants. Respect will come to you, and then you can hold your man. You can hold your man. You can hold your man. You can hold. Hey, brother, they'll do you wrong. Yeah, they'll do you wrong, brother.